What's up, sports bettors? Eastern Conference Finals. We got Celtics at Heat in game one. You can see the Celtics are currently slight underdogs. And in this video, I'll be giving out my best player prop bet for game one, as well as a little preview of the series. So the Celtics are currently slight underdogs in this game. If you look at the point spread, I believe they're plus 1.5 underdogs currently. They opened as bigger underdogs, roughly plus 125 money line odds, but all the action off the open was coming in on the Celtics. So sportsbooks are down to roughly, plus 105 on the Celtics currently. Additionally, the total opened at 206.5. It's down to 204. So all the early action was coming in on the under. So early action suggests that this game is going to be low scoring, and also the Celtics have a good chance of winning this game. So let's dive into the best player prop bet for this game. And a bet I really like is Horford over 8.5 rebounds, minus 104 odds on FanDuel Sportsbook. So you can see that Pinnacle, the sharpest sportsbook in the world, they have their market. They have Horford over 8.5 rebounds at minus 127 odds. And we're able to get 23 cents of improvement, minus 127 to minus 104, 23 cents of improvement on FanDuel, right? So the sharpest sportsbook out there is setting Horford over 8.5 rebounds at minus 127. We're able to get minus 104. So there's a lot of value in this bet, and the profit margin is 2.63%. So if we actually just look at the current odds for Horford rebounds, and again, OddsJam, it's constantly scanning all of these markets for real-time odds from all of these sports books. You can see that there's a lot of value in Horford over 8.5 rebounds on FanDuel, right? So FanDuel's the only sports book that has the under favored, right? BetOnline has the over favored, Caesars, DraftKings, Pinnacle. They all have the over favored. FanDuel is the discrepancy, right? So just looking at the odds on all these books, no book is giving you better than minus 119. It's very clear that FanDuel minus 104 on Horford over 8.5 rebounds is a pretty big line discrepancy. And I actually really like this bet as well from a handicapping perspective. Horford had a big series against the Milwaukee Bucks, and I expect him to continue it in game one. So Horford over 8.5 rebounds is a bet I really like. I bet it for $100, and this bet has a profit margin of 2.63%. So how do we get that profit margin? Well, the current market on Pinnacle Sportsbook, the sharpest sportsbook in the world, is minus 127, minus 104, right? Pinnacle has the over at minus 127. So if we throw that into a no vig fair odds calculator, a zero vig fair odds calculator, we can back out the fair price for Horford to have over 8.5 rebounds. And it turns out to be roughly minus 110, minus 109.74, right? So essentially, the way that every sportsbook makes money, right? FanDuel, all of them, they make money by charging the vig, charging the juice. So what you're doing with a zero vig odds calculator is you're removing the juice, right? You're taking the sportsbook's market and you're removing the vig, you're removing the juice. So we take the market on the sharpest bookmaker out there, Horford over 8.5 rebounds, minus 127. Horford under 8.5 rebounds, minus 104. We remove the vig, remove the juice, and we see that the fair price is roughly minus 110 on Horford over 8.5 rebounds, and we were able to get minus 104 on FanDuel, which is why this is a mathematically profitable positive EV bet, right? And just looking at the odds, it's pretty clear that minus 104 is pretty great value just looking at the odds on every other sports book. So Horford over 8.5 rebounds, minus 104, 2.63% profit margin. We bet $100 on it, so we're staking $100, 2.63% profit margin from OddsJam. So the expected value of our bet, the profit margin of our bet in dollars, is $2.63, right? And again, the point of using OddsJam, the point of looking for value in the odds, is that no sports bettor wins every time, right? Every sports bettor wins and loses. Anybody who claims they win every bet is full of crap, right? So if you go 50 and 50, 50 wins, 50 losses, betting at plus 105 odds, staking $250 per bet, you're up $625 in profit. If you go 50 and 50 at minus 105 odds, you can run through the math yourself, you're down roughly $600, right? So getting even slightly better odds, there's 10 cents between plus 105 and minus 105. Getting slightly better odds is all the difference in the long run, right? Between becoming a winning sports bettor and having your profit be green and being a losing sports bettor and having your profit be red, right? So that's why you want to use OddsJam, constantly scanning all of these markets to try to find you the value as a sports bettor and the sharp, mathematically profitable bets. So Heat Celtics, I got the Celtics winning this series 4-1. My player prop bet for game 1, Horford over 8.5 rebounds, minus 104 on FanDuel, 2.63% profit margin mathematically. Thank you, OddsJam. Let's make money.